Hello, and welcome to episode 20 of Simple Steps to Healthier, More Balanced Living. I am your host and your certified health and life coach, Kathy Warrens. And today we're diving into 7 mistakes to avoid when trying to get healthier and more balanced in your life. I was on a coaching call last night with a client who used to do all these 7 mistakes, and she has unlearned them and is seeing some amazing results in her life by losing weight, having more energy, feeling more relaxed at work. So these 7 things to avoid are very important when we're trying to get results in our health and life. Now, there's no judgment if you do 1, 2, or all of these 7 things. I used to do them all and have to catch myself and be mindful when I start doing them again, because they are not the way to the results that we want. So what are these 7 mistakes to avoid? I'm going to list them and then just chat about each one briefly. So let's dive in. 7 mistakes to avoid when trying to get results. Now, these results can be whatever it is that you're looking for right now. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to meal plan more. Maybe you want to get better sleep. Maybe you want to feel less stressed, whatever it might be. Avoid these 7 things on your way to get there. And if you need help avoiding these things, then I am your coach and I will help you. Number 1, setting goals that are too big. Number 2, setting too many goals. Number 3, pushing yourself. Number 4, using negative self-talk. Number 5, not trusting your own body. Number 6, not showing up for yourself. Number 7, not enjoying the process. So I used to do all of these things. I would set a goal that was too big, like, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm not going to eat sugar. Or starting next week, it was always next week, right? Because we are already gearing ourselves up that it's going to be hard and not fun. So I'm going to start fresh next week because I know this isn't something I can just do in my everyday life. Again, wrong, don't do this. So setting goals that are too big. So, I'm where I am right now, maybe even in my business, and I might set a goal that's way too big. Like, oh, by the end of the month, I'm going to have 15 new clients. Or by the end of the month, I'm going to, be working out 4 days a week or whatever it is. Don't set your goal too far from where you already are, because right there, you're setting yourself up for some frustration. Because if it's too far from our norm, our brain's going to freak out because we're just not used to doing these things and we're trying to go too far too fast. If you want more information on that and examples, go back to episode 4. So setting goals that are too big. It doesn't mean that you're not going to reach that goal. So I worked with someone who wanted to start eating healthier and eat more plant-based. Again, my clients choose their goals. I'm not telling my client this is what you need to do, but I'm taking what my clients desire and helping them get there. So this client, because of her current health, etc., really wanted to start eating plant-based. But we're not going to do that all in like 2 weeks. We're not going to do that even in 6 weeks. We're going to set smaller goals so that we can reach that bigger goal at the end. And she has reached that goal, but it's not that we started out saying, I'm going to start eating plant-based right now and go all in and be doing that by the end of the month. So don't set a goal that's too big. If I have an income goal in my business and I say, oh, by the end of this year, I want to bring in, I'm just throwing this out here, $10,000, and the last year I brought in $2,000, then let me back that goal up a little bit and say, well, maybe I'll do $3,000. It doesn't mean I'm never going to end up at $10,000, but let's set that immediate short-term goal that I'm working for a little bit smaller. So even thinking of, yes, I have a long-term goal and I have a short-term goal, and then I have even smaller goals to get to that short-term goal. So I spent most of my professional life as a speech pathologist helping clients and families reach goals around their communication. And we would have an overall long-term goal, and then we would set these short-term goals. And then I would just forget all of that really until I went through my health and life coach training and learned how to help people form habits and realized that I was in my own health and life setting these goals that were too big, too far from where I was, because I either got panicked or, was like, oh my gosh, I really need to get a grip on my sugar intake. So I'm going to set this big goal about how I'm going to, avoid sugar. And that brings me back to the balance too. I'm always talking about being balanced. So not this all or nothing, like I'm never going to eat sugar again. That's a big goal. That's unrealistic. And that's not going to help me be balanced. So setting the right goals and also goals that aren't too big in the beginning. So don't set something too far away from where you are right now. It doesn't mean you won't end up there, but set more short-term goals. What do I want to do for the next 7 days? What do I want to accomplish? So when I'm working with clients, we're going on this every 7 to 14 days. Okay, for the next 7 days, I'm going to take this tiny step towards that overall goal. And then for the next 7 days after that, I'm going to take another tiny step towards that bigger goal. And before you know it, we've moved really closely to that bigger goal. But we weren't focused on the end goal. We were focused on the small steps to get there. So don't set a goal that's too big. It's going to be too hard to try to get there. Number 2, set too many goals. So a lot of times my clients will fall into this, and I will as well. Like, yes, I want to start meal planning. I want to drink more water. I want to start eating more plant-based. I want to start working out more. Oh, yes, and I'm going to meditate, and I need to start going to bed earlier. Now, I've said before, how we do one thing is how we do everything. So as we start making some of these healthier changes in one area of our life, it will spill over. But we can't start out intentionally putting in the work and the time on too many goals, or we will just fizzle out. It's too much. It's too hard for our brain. So don't set too many goals. Set one little goal that you can reach. And then once you're comfortable with that, you'll add another. So maybe you want to meal plan and drink water and start working out and whatever. Again, I'm not telling my clients this is what you need to do. We're working on this together. They're coming to me saying, yes, I'd like to start doing these things. So I want to be clear about that. But if they're telling me I want to start meal planning, drinking more water, working out more, then we're going to start out with maybe one. Once we get them comfortable, over a few weeks that they're consistently drinking more water, then we might add in a new little action step to do 2 days of meal planning. But we're not going to set so many goals. I'm not going to give you 5 things that you're supposed to take action on in the next 7 days. Especially if they're not things that you're already doing partially. Number 3, pushing yourself. Yeah. Believe me on this one, people. This one was hard for me. Like, I can just push myself and force myself and, to do it. Go back and listen to episode 6 if you need reminders of why pushing yourself doesn't work. Pushing yourself doesn't work. You can't sustain it. I could push myself for weeks, maybe even a month, to try to force myself or push myself to work out or push myself to meal plan or force myself to do the thing that the experts are telling me to do because it will help me feel healthy. Pushing yourself is not fun, and you will rebel. Your brain will rebel. Habits form around pleasure or associating pleasure with something. So if you're pushing yourself to try to reach that goal, how much fun are you having? How are you feeling about it? How are you feeling about that goal? It starts to become a real drag, and we just fizzle out. Don't push yourself. It can be fun. It can be pleasurable. And I can show you how to do that through coaching. Number 4, using negative self-talk. Oh, and this is so subtle, right? That negative self-talk is not going to lead you to the results you want. And go back. I've got all kinds of episodes. Listen to episode 8. Listen to episode 17. Listen to episode 18. These little stories we tell ourselves about how we can never stick to anything, how it's hard for us to meal plan, how we don't have time, how I always start this diet plan and can't stick with it. I lose the weight and I always gain it back. I can never stick with exercise. Or, come on, why can't you do this? The negative self-talk could be your biggest obstacle. Our brain wants our thoughts and actions to match. I've said that before. If I'm trying to do some health promoting action, but in my mind, I've got that little negative story I'm telling myself or that little negative self-talk, it's going to make it more difficult for me to follow through with that action. And if you add in that I've already set like an unrealistic action step, or I'm pushing myself, trying to do too many things. So as a result, I've got that negative self-talk. See how these mistakes just pile on to each other. Number 5, not trusting your own body. And that's why sometimes I feel like it's hard for me to even, advertise my programs or talk about things on this show, because what I help my clients with is so individualized for them. I'm not selling something to the masses. You're getting an individual plan, individual attention, whether that's in a coaching call or in one of my coaching programs where you have access to me individually through our community or texting or whatever it might be. But trust your own body. So I have a million books, people, like if you could just see. I love self-help, obviously. I love health and nutrition and learning about that. And if you know me at all or have been in any of my programs, I've read about that. I've got a book about that. Not saying I'm the know-it-all. I enjoy gathering information and hearing what the experts say. But none of that means anything unless I can apply it to my own body. So there are a lot of healthy, quote, healthy, right? It changes. Whatever people are saying healthy is might change in a year or 2 years or whatever. So tune into your own body. There are some, quote, healthy foods out there that have so much science backed behind why they're healthy, but my body does not like them. My taste buds may not like them. You can tell me how great tofu is for me. I'm not going to eat it. I don't like it. So I need to do what works for my own body and trust my own body. There are certain healthy foods that over time, if I eat them, my body kind of rebels and I don't feel well. I don't digest them well. So learning to trust your own body. If I buy this workout and I see this workout or this person on YouTube and they're doing these certain kind of squats or whatever, don't just mindlessly push yourself to do that if your own body is telling you that that's hurting your knee. Don't just push through it, but trust your own body for what kinds of food give you energy, for what kinds of movement work for your body. No one else but you knows what's good for your body. And I think we lose that because we're so used to all of the messages that we get from advertising or scrolling through our social media, or this is the book, this is the person that did it this way. Or even sometimes if I have a group coaching call with clients and someone might hear someone else saying, oh yes, I love these sweet potatoes and they keep me full and, I add cinnamon to it and this and that. That doesn't mean that that's going to work for your body. Trust your own body and what works for you. Number 6, mistake that people make is not showing up for yourself. It's that simple, people. And women, I'm really talking to you. Not showing up for yourself, sabotaging yourself. No judgment, but let's just be real. We do it all the freaking time. Where something else comes up, or we feel guilty, or we feel like if we show up for ourselves, we can't show up for someone else. Something else comes up. Oh, I didn't have time to do that. It's a skill to learn how to show up for ourselves. It's a mindset shift to realize that we can show up for ourselves and still show up for all these other people, right? I can still meal plan and have time to veg on the couch and watch my favorite Netflix show. But we have to learn how to show up for ourselves and not just give up on ourselves when we face an obstacle. But if we're making all these other mistakes, like setting goals that are too big, setting too many goals, pushing ourselves, using negative self-talk, not trusting our own body, then it's easier to then just not show up for ourselves. So these mistakes pile on, right? Again, no judgment, but I'm really passionate about it because I want you to stop doing them. Number 7, not enjoying the process. Getting results doesn't have to mean that you have pushed yourself and it's been hard. And these are some of the objections I think people have for not joining one of my coaching programs, because they're thinking, oh my gosh, that's 12 weeks. I cannot keep this up for 12 weeks. I've never kept anything up for 12 weeks. This is different, I promise. And that's just our old mindset that, oh, when I'm trying to do something new, like lose weight, get more energy, have better sleep, take better care of myself, feel a little healthier and more balanced, that the process itself is going to be hard. Or, oh my gosh, this isn't the right time in my life because I've got this and this going on. I'll have to wait till I retire. That's what I used to think. Like I can't have my job and be a mom and a wife and have these responsibilities and do all of this. It's like I'm not, the movie star that can just go away for 3 months and shut down the rest of my life so that I can focus on these things. That's just an excuse, my friend. You can enjoy the process. You should enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy the process, you're not going to form habits. Think of all the things that you've started and not been able to sustain. Is it because you were having so much fun doing it? Probably not. We have in our mind that it's going to be hard, or that this 12-week coaching program of mine is going to be hard. It's not. Because I'm teaching you how to do things the right way. I know how to set up a program the right way that gets results. And it's not by having people set goals that are too big, too many goals, pushing yourself, negative self-talk, not trusting your own body, not showing up for yourself, and not enjoying the process. The process is enjoyable. When you enjoy the process, you're going to stick with it. When you enjoy what you're doing and you can calm your brain down, like this is okay. We can do this 12-week thing in the middle of our everyday crazy busy life. I can do this 12-week thing and still show up for my grandkids, my kids, my job. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to ensure throughout my coaching program that you are enjoying the process, that it is pleasurable. And a lot of the feedback I get towards the end is that people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is over already. Like they're saying that after 12 weeks. When's the last time that you stuck with something new and really enjoyed it for 12 weeks? Maybe you did because you found something you enjoyed. I've talked about my Zumba example on that was the form of exercise that I could stick with because I really enjoyed it. So I put that enjoyment and enjoying the process into my coaching programs. So I want you to avoid these mistakes. And the best way to do that, if you've already done any of them or you're doing them, is to reach out and let me help you. Go to coachingcanhelp.com. coachingcanhelp.com. Sign up for a free consultation call with me and I can help you set up a plan that will work for you. You can find links to work with me in the show notes if you're listening to this as a podcast. If you have found it somewhere else, you can go to coachingcanhelp.com and connect with me, and we can help you unlearn these 7 mistakes so that you can feel healthier and more balanced in your own life and actually reach those goals that you want to. I am your coach. I am trained to help you, and I'm here with you every step of the way. Have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you in the next episode. Remember, keep it simple, keep it real.